Welcome back to night 2 of DOPE-A-MANIA. We have a wonderful show for you, ladies and gentlemen. We are just kidding. It is going to be very sad because we have entered the sad portion of the good, the sad, and the ugly with this one. Because we are talking about The Wrestler. The Wrestler that came out in 2008. How excited are we after witnessing the greatness of The Wrestler?
This movie's so goddamn sad.
It really is sad, and how selfish of me to not introduce this episode without talking to my commentators on the right and left of me. We got a newcomer, a novice to the game. This is NXT tryout. This is Michael.
Yo, they call me the Bipolar Express. Yo.
Let's go. That's his finishing move. That's his finisher right there. That's gonna put butts in seats. We thought this would be a really good ensemble to have for the more like wrestling focused one, more of just like, if you're what we consider in the business to be a mark, this is the movie for you. So we watched Mickey Rourke's and Darren Aronofsky's The Wrestler, which came out in 2008. Frank, what is your experience with this movie?
So, I never really got into this movie until, like, late on into the game. I'd been a wrestling fan after the movie, like, came out, and I knew there was a lot of buzz about it. But I never really got into it, and I periodically would see, like, clips of it over and over again. And this is, like, my first true blue watch from start to finish. And, oh boy, is it depressing.
Yep.
It is a very, very accurate depiction of what it is to be, I don't want to say like a has-been. I feel like that's very rude to say, but someone that has been in the game for far too long and just your body has given way. The limelight has escaped you. You are struggling to make ends meet, and it's a bit humiliating, but also ever so often you are given that taste of glory and you feel young again. And it's really sad to watch Mickey Rourke's performance as he plays this sad older man in the like swan song of his career.
Yeah, he plays Ricky the Ram Robinson. He is
not Ricky, it's Randy.
Randy the Ram Robinson, my bad. But he is pretty much a Hulk Hogan shoo-in, but except for him having a reality TV show on MTV about his family, he is living in a van. And if he's lucky, sometimes it's trailer park. And it is a really sad depiction of this time, because I feel like this is like the first generation of like WWE like legend wrestlers, and like in 2008 at the time, they didn't really have much going for them aside from the indie scene. When in comparison to now, I feel like wrestlers have so much more that they can go to. Like, they have podcasts they can open, wrestling conventions are bigger, like wrestling shows hire them more and like use them for managerial positions. But back then, 2008, that wasn't really feasible. Ring of Honor was just doing it. The main big time is WWE, and you would be lucky if they give you a call out or just give you some TV time. So during this era of like wrestling, like no one is really there to help you, and you're just kind of chewed up and spat out by the system. And this is a really accurate depiction of that, and especially just the behind the business and just what goes on behind the curtain. But which, by the way, going back to my backstory with this movie, so I watched this movie like one time beforehand, and it was when I watched it one time in my college dorm, and it just kind of stuck with me for a while. This is like Darren Aronofsky, who is really well known for doing like kind of like movies about people trapped in their bodies. Like there's Requiem for a Dream, Black Swan, this movie, and then he did The Whale, and then he sold out to make an AI dog shit slot movie. Yeah, he kind of fell off. And this movie, again, like, I was kind of like a more casual wrestling fan going in, but now that I know a bit more about stories, watching Dark Side of the Ring, and just, like, just pretty much behind the scenes video of like what the wrestling experience is like. This has been very interesting on the second watch of just like the little nuances that go into having things be made, and I enjoyed it again on second time.
So, my experience with The Wrestler is I remember seeing trailers of it as a kid. I never got to see it though because of it being rated R, and because of the like subplot details in this film. Probably was not the best film to watch at that age. But I had never seen the film prior to this fully. I had seen clips of it and had seen a retrospective review over it, and I've always known that people have given it kind of a greater reception because of how it treats a lot of wrestlers and treats how business is done in the ring and also in many cases out of the ring. It may not show the prettiest side to the business of wrestling, but it does show the most realistic side to the business. And I think in that time, again, if you're looking at 2008, there's not a whole lot of opportunities for older wrestlers to still have a living. I mean, there's WWE, there's TNA, but then after that, if you're going through the grander scheme of American wrestling, it's very difficult to find stuff. But with that being said, it beautifully captures the tolls that wrestling takes on a person, especially from a bygone era like the 80s. And what it takes a toll on, not just of their body, but also their personal relationships and how they just are able to function. Because when you're in it for so long, I think you become so encapsulated by the grand scheme of professional wrestling that you don't actually realize how much damage you're putting onto yourself in every other form. Like physically, yes, but also mentally and also emotionally. And The Wrestler, I think, encapsulates all those different aspects, but it still holds up because you can have people that watch it today and they'll be able to really see how wrestling has grown from that period and how much it has given back to legends and given back to wrestlers that have broken their backs because of how much opportunities have grown since that era that the wrestler came out in. But as far as like memories, yeah, I remember seeing like commercials for it. I remember seeing the whole build up to WrestleMania that following year with Chris Jericho.
Yeah.
And never really saw too much else out of it, but there was always something that had me intrigued to eventually want to go see it fully. So I'm glad I got to see it with this.
So, without further ado, I think it's appropriate that we jump right into this movie. And it starts real rough. Starts with the star of the show, Randy the Ran Robinson, in a gymnasium.
Yeah, just straight up. Just
in a school gym, like a high school gym.
Which, yeah, it's a sad image, too. It's like the aftermath, and he's just, like, a beaten up, like, shell of a person. But even before that, we get a brief montage of just him in the 80s, and, like, he was the highest of, like, high of the card. Like, he was, like, Hulk Hogan stand-in, and he had an equal footing with the Ayatollah, which is supposed to be a stand-in for the Iron Sheik. So pretty much, like, this, big... His main peak was in, like, early 80s, like, when Hulkamania was about to start, and then just after that, it just kind of plateaued. And so this is kind of, like, showing that he had it all, but nowadays, he just kind of has nothing, and now he's just competing in gyms, which is the unfortunate truth to a lot of wrestlers at this time. And, like, you even see, like, cards of just, like once in a while you see a wrestling flyer with like past legends, but they're working in high school gyms because that's like the kind of the venues that pick him up. But back to this real quick, he is just like icing his knees. He's walking out. It's like an empty like high school gym. There are wrestlers who are just like not even in the back room like he is, that are like just undressing in like public in chairs, and it's just like kind of a matter-of-fact job. And that's one thing I like about it, is just to just show how much of a job it is. It's just like the grind.
There's like one dude butt-ass naked in the back.
One dude
like getting dressed.
This dude's doo-dooing.
Yeah, there's a lot of naked people in this movie.
there was a lot of shit going on. I did not know how to take it at first.
Yeah, Mike had to get calmed down like 3 separate times, so we were just happy that we were there for him.
Yeah. Like, Mickey Rourke's ass was on screen and Mike was freaking out. We're like, calm down, Mike! Calm down! It's not real! It can't hurt you! It can't hurt you!
The way I was ready to jump in through my screen just to be there in the moment.
Try not to reach you the screen! Because here we go!
Coming through like Fat Albert in the live-action movie.
Oh my god.
Absolutely, with no hesitation.
Boy. But, yeah, no, he is a very miserably sad man, and it is kind of just the sad truth of a lot of wrestlers back then getting paid handsomely and just never saving it.
Yeah.
Just, like, the money's going to keep flowing, what's the point? And then the money dries up, and you're living in a trailer park, and you can't get into your place, so you live in your van. And then you come out to assault children. There's a whole scene of him just whooping the piss out of kids. These kids are no match for him, dude. I want the frame data on Randy the Ran Robinson. As he hits that kid with a goddamn touch of death grab combo.
Believe
it's
he
disgusting.
hit a gonzo bomb on a child, and that child did not get up ever since. Like, you just see him, it just cuts back to the movie, and he's just dead on the floor decaying. It's actually crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, this is interesting because it's not only your body is just, like, horribly mangled by just the years and years of punishment you put it through, but you're also dependent on steroids and painkillers as well, which is also the 1-2 punch of a lot of wrestlers back then. And this is something that we even see with him, like, just going to his one drug guy just for, like, Percocets and painkillers, and also steroids, which he's been using for one of the first ass shots of the movie that we get. And
one of many.
Which by the way, this guy looks exactly like Nathan Jones. Like,
oh my god,
almost clear as day. I had to do a double take just to make sure I wasn't seeing things.
Yeah, and it's just like, it just shows his life. He goes to the tanning salon, he gets his hair done, he tries to look the best that he can, but he is like 50 years old, so I don't think he's gonna get called up by the big time every now and then. Well, anytime
rough
soon.
52.
It's a very rough 52. We're in a day and age, thankfully, where wrestlers get like a lot more longevity and like how they take care of themselves. Like, we have wrestlers like Billy Gunn, who is like 60 years old and still wrestling, and like he looks great. He's clearly on steroids, but he's still going. Like, he's still strong. At least he can actually like get through a match okay. But yeah, like we can't say the same for people like Roddy Piper, like Bret Hart, like Mick Foley. Mick Foley's lucky that he can do like full sprints, and I'm so happy for him. Like, back then in the 80s, like if you were past like 40, that was it for you. Like, Macho Man, like, he was so beaten up by 40, like to the point where he was being told to retire in WWE, so he had to move on to WCW. He hurt his leg so terribly because Hulk Hogan could not be bothered to catch him when he fell from like 20 feet up to do a axe handle. Fuck you, Hulk Hogan. Once again.
Fuck you, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, have I said fuck you, Hulk Hogan within the last like 15 minutes? Because I feel like it's
warranted, honestly. We haven't.
It's due. Yeah. You know what, guys? On the count of 3.
One,
okay.
1, 2, 3.
Fuck you,
Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Yeah. So we go through his day-to-day routine, in which, by the way, he goes to the strip club. This is how he spends his nights, and I could not think of kind of a sadder way to spend your nights. Like, I bet he just goes for a beer sometimes, but I don't know. The strip club's just like pretty muggy, man. Just seems like a...
We're forgetting his match. He fought a match against every member of System of a Down fused into one man.
That is true. That's the opening match to demonstrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did a blade job in it. It's real rough to kind of watch. And a lot of criticism towards this movie was about how it killed kayfabe. And for people that don't know, kayfabe is the kind of like illusion of wrestling, the truth of it, and all that, the smoke and mirrors to make it come to life. But like, you know,
who cares?
Nowadays, it's who cares? Like, this is a movie about like the insider trades and all that stuff. It's about marking out, and yeah, it's interesting for people outside the know to watch him tape up his wrist and hide a razor blade in there so he could cut himself later.
Not in a bad way.
Back to the strip club.
Back to the strip club.
Yeah.
So Thankfully, actually, going back to that match real quick, this is something I'm thankful about of how it would, because like looking back at this movie, I always thought it was shot like not really too great. I still think Iron Claw is probably the worst offender of just shooting like wrestling like pretty bad, because it was always just like very up and close, and I always thought like don't do that because we know how wrestling should be shot in the form of movies. And thankfully Ready to Rumble did a really good job demonstrating it, and I thought this movie was gonna do the opposite and keep it all close to home like 100% of the time, but thankfully it didn't. It did a lot better job just showing just showing off the wrestling in general, just like a better use of angles, a better use of just telling the story through it, and the camera wasn't as shaky as I thought, so thankfully it was really good. But real quick, just throughout the movie, just a lot better shooting and camera work, and there's a lot of great shots in this as well, and we'll probably catch up to it soon.
There was a good couple of shots in the strip club. I mean, all I had to see was Marissa Tomei, and that was it.
Honestly.
Beautiful cinematography. Like, on the record, I would build a house with my bare hands for Marissa Tomei.
That's fair enough. Honestly, I do pretty much the same. This was a pre-Spider-Man Homecoming Marissa Tomei, so we were really having it good in 2008 before Spider-Man Homecoming happened.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so Marissa Tomei is the love interest. She plays a stripper named Cassidy, although that is not her name. And this actually goes into a thought I had really about this, of how this movie is about like being your different self and being more comfortable in your mask. Cause even in this movie, like the real name for Marissa Tomei's character is Pam, but she goes by Cassidy, and she puts on this facade of who she is as a stripper. Like, she is a lot more forward-going. She tries to bring barriers up. Like, she wants to keep her side on the strip club separate from her home life, and she's a mom. She has a 9-year-old at home. And they just do, she keeps, like, two completely separate worlds. And that is the exact same for Randy's character, or Mickey's character, of just like he keeps two separate worlds, like himself, like when he's just trying to get by in life and just like have a very sad life, in the wrestling world where he is the king, he is the locker room leader, everyone looks up to him and idolizes him, even though in the real world he's a nobody, like no one cares.
He's a bum
dad, he's a deadbeat dad, he's a druggie,
he's a deadbeat. I was about to say
he's a fucking deadbeat.
But, Randy in the club fucking ruins the mood for some guys, gets himself a lap dance. It's really despicable, but
you gotta
this is a really sad man.
You gotta take the good with the bad, dude. with what he's doing. This is a win for him, okay? Just let him have his win.
So, it can't get any lower for beloved Randy. So, next up, Randy buys drugs.
He buys drugs from Nathan Jones.
He buys drugs, and he does steroids in the bathroom, shoots it right into his ass. We had to hold Mike back with all of our strength. He gets his hair done. He does a fucking death match
with Necro Butcher, of all people. In which, by the way, this is actually one of my favorite scenes leading up to it, where it's just him and Nathan Jones going into a dollar store, just picking out prop items to bring to the death match. Like, and it is just kind of like a fun moment, because it's a shame, because I thought he was doing it with Necro Butcher for the longest time, but no, he's just doing it with, like, his work buddy, I guess, just to see what works out and what's good. And that's just, like, I like that aspect of, like, them going out to try to make the match better and, like, taking out their own money to, like, do it. But, yeah, we cut to the aftermath of the match that he has with Necro Butcher. Well, actually, we cut to the locker room first.
Yucky Necro Butcher. It is great to see that so many of the people, like, respect Randy and the work that he's put in. Like, no one's trying to big league him. No one's trying to be like, your time's past, old man. Everyone's just like, it's good to meet you, sir. Nice to meet you, sir. Can't wait to work with you, sir.
That's really what...
here's an idea I had.
Because that's really what the wrestling business is, like, in reality. Like, there are higher-ups, like, veterans that do get a lot of respect, like, in notoriety, and they do try to respect the newer generation, unless you're Hulk Hogan. Fuck you, Hulk Hogan. But...
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
All my homies hate Hulk Hogan.
I also love how much actual wrestlers they pulled for this. Not like big name wrestlers like at the time, indie wrestlers, like independent talent. Like just before they start to really hit it big, I think the biggest name that we have right now is probably R-Truth. That's because he's still with WWE. But that's also a disservice for the other wrestlers that we have who are just about to really hit it big. I mean, Nigel McGuinness was probably at his peak at the time. Before he had to retire.
There was Claudio Castagnoli.
Exactly.
Claudio.
Yeah.
There was a Blue Meanie.
Blue Meanie.
There was Blue Meanie. That was
That was a fun watch. There's shoot, who else was there? There's Ron Killings, Nigel McGuinness. There's Claudio Castagnoli that shows up. Necro Butcher, but that's kind of That's like the big stars that you know of. There's probably a bunch of indie guys in there as well.
Jay Lethal was in there.
Jay Lethal? Holy shit, we got Black Machismo himself.
They got Chuck Taylor.
Yeah, they cut to a CZW match, and it just cuts through a lot of the shit he put himself through in that match. And dude, like, so much respect for deathmatch wrestlers, dude, because, oh my god, to do all of that for, like, $200, like that's what he gets paid after, and this is after what happens to him after that match. So he gets through the match, he's covered in blood. It takes him through the aftermath of the match, and I could not think of a more uncomfortable feeling of like being covered in sweat, being tired, and you're having glass and staples being picked from you. Like, oh my god, just a real, like, I just imagine, like, the feeling you have after soccer practice, but, like, tenfold. Like, you're hurt in so many different ways. You have sweat that's going into your, like, blood. Like, open cuts. You're getting super glued shut. It's just insane. And, yeah, afterwards, when he's all said and done, his tummy gets upset, he throws up, and then he passes out.
I'm sorry, I was running through more people that were in here that were wrestlers, and one of them is Drew Gulak, which I have history with.
Oh my god, man!
It always goes back to Drew Gulak.
It always goes back to fucking Drew Gulak. To go through my history with Drew Gulak, Seb and I went to a thing called Real Rumble, which we were big fans of, and he was there for one of the matches, and I was at the concession stand at that point, which I apologize about. Fast forward to another event, was Steel Stack SmackDown.
Yeah. Yep.
I am wearing a shirt from the Real Rumble, and I'm walking around, and Drew Gulak notices me wear that and go like, "Hey, that was a good show. Were you there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I go like, "Were you there?" And he's like, "Yeah. I wrestled there," and I went like, "Oh, okay," and I walked away, and I felt really bad. Like, how did I end up feeling like I big league Drew Gulak? He fucking performed there. I felt so fucking bad about that.
It was such a weird feeling when you go to the side tables, like you try to make small talk, but you have so much tension of buy a shirt, buy a shirt, buy a shirt.
Okay, I will say, if you can support local talents and indie workers, please do. It is their lifeblood. They really will appreciate that. It is important to support like your local shows, even if it's not like wrestling, music, forms of like dance, makeup, performances. Just go out and support local arts, man. They really need it, and they'll really appreciate it, and you'll be better off for doing it.
Yes.
Anyway, back to The Wrestler. I'm trying to get back on track because there's a lot of notes I have, and some of them are just Randy's ass, because it was so jarring to see him just inject steroids into his ass. I was so not ready for that.
They cut to his ass a lot.
But also,
they cut to his ass a lot, and what's up, Mike?
But also, like, him slapping his ass right before he drops the needle in, like, he just wanted to make sure he got the right mark on.
Yeah. I just want to go in a bit more behind the scenes with stuff like this, because for Mickey Rourke, like, this was his big comeback into Hollywood, so I think he really put a lot of that, like, Hollywood struggle into this character, because after this, he finally got his big break again in Iron Man 2, and, like, it has really picked up his career, because he was really big in the 80s, but he got into a lot of, like, drugs and alcohol and, like a lot of plastic surgery, so he looks complete, because he was a heartthrob in the 80s, and, like, he was, like, the next big thing, but then he just fell off, and this movie was kind of like his big comeback into the spotlight, And like he was doing really good with that, and like he really put his all in this, and this was such a great performance. And then he fucked up and just became like a kind of sack of shit later on. But still, in this movie, he did a fantastic job. And I just want to say, this movie did a lot. Like a lot of the wrestling scene loved this movie. Well, it kind of got a mixed response because the successful wrestlers who were still like doing well and like from the 80s are like, this movie sucks. Not all people are like that, come on. But people who actually get the struggle, like Roddy Piper, is like, this movie's incredible. Like, this movie is, like, this really speaks to a lot of people of, like, what wrestlers go through. And a lot of people who are living like that, like, really appreciated what it said. But even to the point where Vince McMahon wanted to do a tie-in with WrestleMania, even though he didn't like the movie at all. And Mickey Rourke was supposed to fight Chris Jericho, but I think the plans got muddied because I think Mickey Rourke spoiled it. So it's like, screw it, we'll have Chris Jericho fight a bunch of 80 stars and then just have like a scene with Mickey Rourke at the end, and that's what we'll do.
Very funny that now Chris Jericho looks like fucking Randy the Ram.
He really does.
In his, like, time in the ring now.
I will say shout out to Ricky Steamboat in that match with Jericho.
Oh,
he
absolutely.
Kicked ass.
That was
the biggest.
That was the best thing we got from that change of plans. We just found out that by finding out that Ricky Steamboat at the time was still not washed.
Oh yeah.
I want to also throw it up to Ricky Steamboat's real name, Dick Blood. That was his. What a wild name.
Oh
my God, you're right.
Yeah, of course I'm right. I did my research.
Richard Henry Blood Sr. Holy shit.
Oh no.
Dude, Dick Blood's so strong it made his son Dick Blood too.
I would have hated to grow up at school and being like doing the roll call and be like, Dick Blood Jr. here.
That's me.
Getting back into the swing of things, I wanted to point out the initial camera work of the first match he works, and how it is very sporadic and hard to focus on, which I understand is supposed to be like, yeah, because he's getting his bell rung in the ring, but it comes off as really disorientating for like a viewer. And in the second match, they do a little bit of a better job kind of like making it focused, and I do appreciate that it cuts from the ending of the match where it's already finished, and then later back into the thick of the things, and you see all the abuse that Randy and Necro Butcher are both going through. Followed up by Randy throwing up in the club and having a fucking heart attack.
As one does.
And we see Randy fight his greatest rival in all of wrestling, the American healthcare system.
Yeah, and this is like the saddest thing that he ever gotten, of just like a doctor coming in and just being real and just saying you can't wrestle anymore, dude. He's like,
you're gonna fucking die.
What the fuck am I gonna do now? And it's just like, this is kind of like, again, like he knows nothing else to do. Like, he's sure he does like work on the side, like at a grocery store, like for some extra cash, but this was really like his passion. This is all he put his time into, and now he has to go back into reality. And there's a lot of things that he needs to realize and do now, because he can't keep talking to kids and playing NES games, because that's just creepy. He can't do that. His stripper friend doesn't really want to have a relationship with him, so it's like, hey, why don't you form a relationship with your daughter? And he's like, okay, I guess I could try that.
And his daughter hates him.
Daughter fucking hates his guts, because unfortunately with a lot of wrestlers back then, you were on the road like 24/7 and you weren't there for your kid. And a lot of wrestlers wanted to be fathers, but yet they couldn't because they had to put food on the table. And this is like the sad thing also with being a wrestler. Like, you're just not there for your child. And thankfully this is a thing that's been a lot better with them fixing schedules, them like kind of alleviating just the necessities of house shows. But the fact is, like, even then, like, house shows is kind of a debated topic, because a lot of people like debate that you kind of need them to fight ring rust, which I'm not in the profession to say, but it more or less, like, it is better for the family aspect, and there are ways to stay connected with your family still.
Which I want to quickly go back and say, fuck Hulk Hogan from stopping wrestlers from unionizing and making it very comfortable for them to retire.
Fuck you, Hulk Hogan, you fucking piece of shit. We brought this up because apparently, according to Mike brought up that I think as one of many Hulk Hogan's lies, he said that he auditioned he was supposed to be Mickey Rourke in this movie, but he got turned down because of scheduling, I believe. And then Darren Aronofsky had to come out and say that is not true at all.
Yeah, like the way that Hogan has claimed is that he was offered the role, but said that he declined because he thought he didn't deserve it. But Aronofsky has come out and said that he never pitched Hogan the role, and it was always meant for Mickey Rourke. So, once again, fuck Hulk Hogan.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
I think that's a great segue into
Hulk
that.
Hogan.
But the one thing I wanted to mention about as we go into the dynamic between Randy and his daughter is that it reminds me a lot of Jake Roberts and his relationship with his daughter.
Yes.
There's this documentary out here called Beyond the Mat, and I don't know if any of you've seen it. If you haven't, I would recommend it. It's a great wrestling documentary. But this was filmed around the late 90s, which was a very dark place for Jake Roberts as he was dealing with alcoholism and drug abuse. And there is plenty of scenes that you watch with Jake Roberts, who is just, like, again, broken down, not all coherent because of what he's doing with himself. And he's with his daughter, and it's just it's hard to watch. It's uncomfortable because you can see the pain in both of their eyes of how she had never had him in her life because of how much he pushed wrestling forward, but also how much he expresses regret because he wasn't able to be a true father. And I think that dynamic is truly powerful in any form of storytelling, but with wrestling, I think it can really be pulled off well. And how they approached it in The Wrestler, I think, is a really good cautionary tale about what wrestlers sacrifice and how much sacrificing it can come back to haunt them.
Yes. Absolutely. That's actually a really, like, poignant way to really hit the nail on the head. Oh my god, I cannot talk tonight. But yeah,
it's all good.
And yeah, it's just a bad relationship with the daughter, but thankfully he kind of bounces back and he takes her out to the pier, which is actually a really sweet moment. And it's like just saying like, hey, like I remember so much that we did together, and like I just want to be there again, like cause like I got really nothing else. And the daughter's like been rightfully very standoffish because again, like he was never there for her growing up. And then they make plans for to have dinner literally like for like I think like 2 days later. And things are turning out a little bit better because he also gets a job at the supermarket working the deli. So he finally gets himself some stable income, and you get this really amazing scene of him like back, like a one take scene, like a oneer shot. If you watch like Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, it's like the same one take that they do when they enter the wrestling ring. But this is actually cool because instead of him going out to the wrestling ring, it's him just like going to his job. And you get, like, all the build-up, like, all the wall noises of, like, the crowd that he's expected to hear. But instead of going through the curtain, in this instance, it's just him clocking in. And it's just him, like, accepting, like, hey, the wrestling's done. I'm now doing my own thing. And you get this really kind of wholesome scene of just him having fun at work and, like, talking to people, being charismatic. And it's kind of sweet because it's him, like, still finding the fun in something that's not wrestling. And apparently, like, how they shot this is it's genuinely just Mickey Rourke just handing sandwiches to, like non-actors, like, real people. Which is really cool. It's just, like, regulars. But it's just, like, it also juxtaposes just how, like, of a cartoon character he is to real life, to just, like, real people.
Also, do we want to bring up the fact that Randy goes into his manager's office and catches him watching porn? And he's like, don't you know how to knock?
He'd be fucking chorking it, man. And Randy's like, oh!
Which, by the way, great promotional work for Acme. Those poor executives at Acme.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he gets the job, he's working, everything's going pretty right, and then he goes back into wrestling for a bit just to check out how they're doing. And
I want to talk about the one shot that look like of him walking from the back, and it looks like he's going through an entrance tunnel.
yeah, that's what we were talking about.
I thought that was a really nice shot. Yeah.
But yeah, he goes to, I believe it's a Ring of Honor show, it's just like an indie show. But yeah,
I think it's just an indie show. But
he goes just to visit, and I
some
think he's just,
names.
isn't he just testing the water for opportunities of like just making appearances?
I think it's just also being able to support the wrestlers too, because like he's able to like catch up with Ron Killens, and it's kind of cool.
It is really cool to see Ron R-Truth Killings just like in this movie straight up, because I think this is his in-between stage of just leaving TNA and about to go into WWE. So you get that really cool like NWA style R-Truth, and he's like really like sleek looking, awesome. Not that he's not that today, but still. But real quick, we missed a scene real quick, and this one just hurts so badly, where he's going to a wrestling signing event, which is just him and like 10 other old wrestlers like him, and this is the same guy at the beginning of the promotion that just said, sorry man, I thought the turnout was going to be higher. That's one detail we left out at the beginning. Like, he is beat up and torn, and he's only given like $7.
All that for $7.
For $7?
$7.
Listen.
$7 is all I can afford to give you, Chris.
Now, listen, if Randy was smart, he'd be starting up a business company called $7 Production. But
Hey, say that again. No, but dude, and he goes to this wrestling sign event, and there's like barely anyone. It's just a community center just full of like an empty arena with like a bunch of tables, and this just gives him time like looking around. He's just looking at the other people around him, and like there's a dude who's like sleeping, there's a dude who's in a wheelchair, there's a dude who's in a catheter, and it's like he's thinking to himself, like, I don't want to live like this. Like, I want to actually have a life outside of wrestling and not just be beaten and broken down. And that was like the instigator of just him wanting more in life, and things were going so well until they didn't.
It is truly a until they didn't movie.
Because he meets this one chick, he goes to a bar, he meets this one chick at like an after party, and he gets really fucked up on drugs, and he fucks this girl who really likes firefighters for some reason.
and who also looks like Jillian Hall.
Who does. And this is the second instance that we see a bare Mickey Rourke ass right now, and yeah, it was again, we had the tape Michael down this time. I'm actually shocked the Gorilla tape held, but here we go. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? It's actually the third time. I was keeping track.
Oh shit! When was the second time?
The second time was when he was rising up from the hospital.
Oh, like, that's right. Oh, how foolish of me! How can I forget?
Bro, it's the equivalent of like that Dark Side of the Ring with New Jack when he's like, no, on the news they were saying I stabbed him 6 times. I was like, no, it was 9.
No, motherfucker, I counted. Times. Oh, poor Hunter Red. Dude, imagine being Hunter Red saying like, yo, I'll bust you out, but we have to make an angle of this, please. I need to make a living. I got stabbed. I sacrificed for this. Please just help me with this. And then New Jack just fucking like dips out like that one meme. He just fades out. Fuck you, New Jack.
A part of me wishes New Jack was kind of in this film. I would have loved to have seen how New Jack would have adapted to this environment.
Just Nicky Rourke getting murdered by New Jack, going into business for himself in a fucking movie.
That should have been. Oh my god, I could have imagined New Jack doing that, but also
throwing him off the fucking rafters, trying to kill him.
No, not the scaffold.
I mean, thankfully, New Jack dead, so fucking rest in piss, whatever.
Damn, that's
dude,
rude.
He's done some fucked up shit. I'm not even talking about the mass transit incident. He beat up like this. He beat up people who were 17 years old. He beat up people who were 70 years old. He threw up people off of scaffolding, and he stabbed people 27 times.
That's true.
Like, that is true. He did do all that.
He's been.
You could play him in fucking like the new WWE.
That's it.
You could play.
That's it. I'm putting up the O.J. Simpson clip right now.
No. Dear God.
So Mickey Rourke fucks up. Randy the Ram. He overslept and because he crashed out essentially after coming back from partying so much. And yeah, so he is late to dinner. He goes back to his daughter's place. And you get like the saddest, most soul-crushing scene of the daughter like lashing out and like, I don't love you, I don't hate you, I don't even like you. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. We had a good thing going, and then you blew it with your pride and your ego.
I gotta say, I want to shout out the woman that plays the daughter, because she was a great performer in this scene.
A+ job with that.
Evan Rachel Wood?
Yeah.
I believe, Evan Rachel Wood, and she was fantastic. I think that there was a really good amount of facial expression, especially when he like says like, I know you hate me, like how she's like seeing that like it's not gonna fix itself, and that after giving him a second chance that like it's the cycle's not changing. So
he's so like he's so catatonic of just like, I'm done. I'm done, like really moving on.
That's a good way to say it.
But yeah, in this instant, this is like the final like climax of the movie where he's at work, he gets recognized, and he's like, why you look so old and stupid and dumb, and why are you working at a grocery store, Randy the Ram? And this is when he lashes out and fucking punches a deli slicer, and he really hurts himself. But yeah, he quits work, he crashes out, and he's like, I can't do anything else in like reality, I have to go back to wrestling. So he goes back to this scene that was brought up beforehand. It was called I think it was called like Fan Fest, and it was a reunion where he fought his old rival from the 80s, the Ayatollah, and he just does it for free, which is sad. He just does it for the love of the game, like, because I just have nothing really else, like I just need to feel good somehow.
Well, I want to say, if he was doing it for the love of the game, he should have been fighting fucking like Roderick Strong.
Seek me!
Fighting that.
Now, actually, guys, I actually have some breaking reporting. So, the person that plays the Ayatollah is also a famous wrestler. It's Ernest the Cat Miller.
That's Ernest the Cat?
Yeah,
it's Ernest the Cat.
I did not realize that until looking up the cast, just so I can talk about the daughter. But yeah, Ernest the Cat Miller played the Ayatollah.
Wait, actually, if that's true right now, I'm gonna play one of my favorite like interview scenes I ever did with Mean Gene right now.
I tell you what, James Brown was here and he's coming back. No, I tell you what, James Brown just gave him his latest CD.
You said he was going to be here and he's not here.
James Brown was here and he's coming back. We got some.
He wasn't here.
We got some big stuff coming up, Mean Gene. He'll be here on Monday Night Nitro.
Thank goodness you don't sell used cars.
I tell you what, I can sell my foot to your.
Yeah,
it is him.
I love Ernest the Cat Miller, actually.
Going into it, we see him get ready. It's for a Ring of Honor show, which is very funny to imagine. Today's wrestling playing like clips of this during like an AEW show. But it goes in, he is wrestling the Ayatollah. The Ayatollah gives him this whole like, wrap it up, man, let's go home, let's finish it up. And he's like, no, I'm going to do this one last time. And Cassidy comes out to see him as he gets to the top of the turnbuckle, and he dives off to do his finisher and die. It's left ambiguous, but it's pretty heavily implied that he has jumped, hit the move, and dies there and then.
Heart attack.
And right after that is Claudio Castagnoli versus Eddie Kingston.
Let's fucking go!
The show must go on.
Dude,
the show must go on. It
would straight up be... Dude, if this happened in real life, Ring of Honor would never recover. This would be like a survival... This would be like a over-the-edge pay-per-view moment with Owen Hart.
Yeah.
It would be awful.
Oh my god.
And then Eddie Kingston comes out with a promo and said, I'll put my life away. I'll put my life away. You put away your life.
Oh my god, he would fucking bury Randy the Ram.
Yeah.
And that is the wrestler, and it cuts out to the song One Trick Pony. That is one of the saddest closing songs you can ever think of. But it is really sad of just knowing he wanted to go out on a high note. Like, he's coming out the fucking sweet child of mine with, like, he gives a passionate speech. Like, I have nothing out here. Like, you are my family. You are the people who keep me going. And he says something so horribly sad to Pam. And it's just like, this out there is the only place I get hurt. Here I'm myself. Here I'm like, I could be happy. I'm like, oh my god. It's so sad just seeing people, like, they go out on a high note, but they don't really last much longer. They just do it so they can at least, like, be remembered. And that is... And if you thought that was sad, get ready for episode number 3, because next time we're doing the Iron Claw. How excited are we, everybody?
I am gonna have my box of tissues.
Oh my god!
It's really telling that they had to make the movie less sad because the real life story was even sadder.
I have my qualms with the Iron Claw. I have my qualms with the movie, but I'll digress until we actually get to it. But any closing thoughts that everyone wants to give? Any shout outs or any plugs you want to give?
My documentary, We're Gonna Make It the World from Antarctica Story, and my short film, Feast Your Eyes, are available to watch on youtube.com/RopeBreak Give the videos a like and share it across anywhere you would like to, and be sure to subscribe. I would just like to throw in some notes from watching the film. Muhammad Hassan made a cameo, I thought, at the end, before it was just Ernest the Cat Miller. And also, it's kind of like surreal to see 2000's Ring of Honor and CCW in HD cinematic lenses. I think that was kind of a surreal moment to see.
That's really
and
true,
finally,
actually.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Well, anyway, guys, if you've stayed for this long, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow us on Blue Sky, Instagram, and YouTube. Once again, this is Cinema Dopes. This is night 2 of DOPE-A-MANIA, and we'll catch you again in the next episode.
DOPE-A-MANIA!
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.
Fuck Hulk Hogan.